Hi. So, this video is meant to be a blind unboxing of the My Retro Gamebox service, the first one that they sent out, the first one that I received. And YouTube has been just a total jackass this afternoon for reasons that I'm not entirely sure about. So, I've tried starting this video several times, and I actually got all the way through it one time, which is when I unwrapped all the games, and YouTube screwed up and wouldn't let me actually post it. So we're trying again. So I did get the My Retro Gamebox, as you can see right here, My Retro Gamebox. And I opened it, and the games all come in these really attractive, sort of classic candy store style striped bags, which is a nice touch. They don't just stuff them in there. And I kind of explained in the Now Lost video that I had done Loot Crate before. This is the one that looks like an NES, which is perfect for me, which is also why I kind of quit Loot Crate, because they sent me the one that was most perfect for me. It had a Voltron t-shirt in it, which is fantastic. It had a necktie with Space Invaders on it, and I never wear ties, so now, on the rare occasion that I do, I have a tie to go to. It's got Space Invaders on it, which is great. But I kind of just decided to walk away from that after being successful with one, because I figured, I don't need any more random tchotchkes and junk in my life. So I just kind of backed off of that after one. But I do need more video games in my life, because everybody needs more video games in their life, and I need more old video games in my life, because I already spend a ton of money on old video games. So I did like I said, I did the unboxing, and YouTube lost it for me. So I'll just tell you what was in the box. War Gods for the N64. That's a game. It's a fighting game from Midway from the late 90s. I think they were sort of trying to cling to relevance in some ways. As far as the fighting game arena, like they were known for Mortal Kombat. That was sort of on the slide. Arcades in general were sort of on the slide. I think War Gods was an arcade game that was ported to the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation, but I could be wrong about that. It could have been straight for home consoles. And it's very similar to Mace: The Dark Age, and I believe that was also a Midway game, and I sort of struggle to understand why they felt the need to make both of those games, and they're very, very similar. Acclaim did one called BioFreaks. It was sort of similar as 3D fighting game, super violent, kind of Mortal Kombat-esque. There is also a PlayStation version of that. I don't know if there's enough differences to merit like a same name, different game about that. Plus, the game is not very good, so that's probably not something I'll cover in depth. Sort of the best of the bunch was Shadowgate, which is one of ICOM's Mac Venture series. They were ported to the NES by Kemco, as you can see there. If it will focus. Webcam, focus. Webcam. Webcam, you're a jerk. I have Deja Vu, and I do not have a copy of The Uninvited. So now that's 2 out of 3 Mac Venture games that I have for the NES, and those are good. Deja Vu is my favorite of them, but I like Shadowgate as well. And then Gauntlet 2. This is actually a PAL version of Gauntlet 2. You can see it says my webcam's being a jerk and not focusing, but that says that this game pack may only be used with the Mattel or NES versions of the Nintendo Entertainment System, which, if you're not European, that probably sounds weird, but Mattel made the NES, well, they distributed the NES for Nintendo in Europe, and they did kind of a half-assed job, so kind of like partway through, Nintendo was like, nah, you guys can't do that anymore. We're taking over. We're taking over! And so there's like 2 versions of the NES, I guess, in Europe, and like not all games work on both of them, which is super weird. That's Mattel, though, I guess, because they made an Intellivision 2, and some Intellivision games don't work on the second model Intellivision for weird reasons. That's Mattel. But anyways, Gauntlet 2, published by Mindscape, which is kind of weird. Yeah. it's fun. I like Gauntlet 2. And there's an arcade version, at least. So those are games with the same name that are slightly different. Off the top of my head, I honestly don't know if that would make a compelling episode either, so no promises. But that's good, and I think this is 4 players. I believe this is supports 4 players. It was one of the... if I'm thinking of the right game, that was one of the ones they really touted when they released the Fourscore and the Satellite. They were like, look, we have 4-player games. NES Play Action Football, Nightmare on Elm Street, Gauntlet 2. So that's cool. I like 4-player games. I like 4-player couch co-op. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Yeah. So that was my Retro Game Box. I need to do some research on what the kind of relative cost of that is, because my Retro Game Box is $35 a month plus shipping to the U.S., which makes it $41 a month. $41 a month is a lot of money, and you know, if I'm going to get stuff that I otherwise maybe could have gotten for less than that, if I wanted to just go buy it, that kind of affects the value proposition of paying $35 a month. So I'm going to do some research into that, but I think, you know, I feel like I probably got my money's worth, although War Gods is not rare by any stretch of the imagination, or sought after, or any, I mean, you can probably get it for $4, so what can you do? In other news, I got a new camera. It's so tiny. It weirds me out. But the old one is just, it's so big and bulky and old mostly. It's just past its sell-by date. It's a DV cam. I had to Frankenstein together a cord to even get it to dump the footage. Like, it's a firewire going into a, like, it's 8-pin firewire to 4-pin firewire to Thunderbolt to get it to do anything. Oh man, and I apologize that I keep yawning, but I am so exhausted because I was up really late last night doing the Street Fighter video that is definitely up by now. So if you haven't watched that, I will go ahead and put an annotation on my hand here to go check that out, and then you should check out the follow-up, which is Eric from Game vs. Game, who makes an appearance in that video. We did an episode for him where I came on and talked about some more Street Fighter stuff. So Street Fighter 2-parter is on my hands, ish, and you should go check those out. And then just keep in mind that the Street Fighter 2 video will be the last video that I use my old camera on, so I should look much better going forward now. And the next episodes, there'll be Same Name Different Game and an Obscure Games for WrestleMania, which is, of course, this month. We're on the road to WrestleMania right now, and I talk about that stuff a lot too, pro wrestling. That's all at onthestick.com, which you probably are aware of if you're watching this channel, but if you're not, go to onthestick.com, and there's a lot of stuff going on there too. And yeah, thanks for watching.